What's going on, YouTube? I'm gonna crack some die cast. Got the GTR and gunmetal. Looks pretty good. I like the orange one. Not sure which one I like better. I like both of them. This is one of Hot Wheels' nicer toolings. It is a very, very nice tooling. And they put some nice detail on it too, which I think might be one of the requirements from Nissan. I think all of these Skylines and GTRs have to have detail. Don't hold me to that though. I know sometimes those kind of deals get worked into it. I think that might have played a part in Mattel losing the Ferrari license. The Ken Mary Skyline, another awesome tooling from Hot Wheels. This car is so dope. I love the lines on this car. I really, really like the Ken Mary Skyline. And the predecessor to the Ken Mary is the Hako, otherwise known as the Hakoska. This is another really nice one. They actually do an awesome job on pretty much all their Skyline castings. They all look really good. Even the R32 and the R34. Coming out with the R33, they just came out with the what is it, 2000, I don't know if it's like a GTS Turbo or a whatever it is. I haven't found it yet. I need to find it. So we got 4 pretty awesome GTRs. Those will go into my mainline collection, which I don't add to very often. And then a couple other things I found today. Surprisingly, on the pegs, I found this guy. I'm going to keep that one on the card for now. Here's one last Hot Wheel car that I'm going to crack. This NSX came out really nice. That car is really, really clean. Really nice looking car. Real heavy metal body, metal base, rubber tires. Very cool. All right, now, before I get into the premium stuff, another peg find. This is the Speed Trapper, which is not, it's not a licensed casting, but it is kind of cool. Maybe it's not, maybe it's kind of annoying, because these things I think are to the point where they really take advantage of the citizenry or the taxpayers. And it's okay, it's a little trailer, and it's basically just a little speed trap trailer. It's not detailed enough for me. Like, this isn't something that I would put on the layout here. Now, if Greenlight were to do something like this, which I could totally see that happening within the hitch and tow line, something like that I might put on display. This one here, it's just too cheap looking. But it's a pretty unique casting, and it's $1. So mostly with Matchbox, I'm going to stick to the licensed models. Like this one here. 2016 Chevy Camaro convertible. And this thing looks so good. You know, as nice of a job as as Mattel did on the Hot Wheels. This one looks so much nicer. What is that on the door? That's some kind of goop or something. Yeah, totally just ruined the paint. I don't know what that was, but it just left a big smudge, so maybe that'll come off. Anyways, I'm not a big fan of convertibles in this scale. I mentioned that on the channel quite a bit. But this thing is awesome. This is where Matchbox totally destroys Hot Wheels. Licensed models, and I think, and when I say that, I'm talking about in the mainline dollar cars. The premium models, the adult collector stuff is definitely nicer in Hot Wheels lineup. But in the dollar car mainlines, I don't think Hot Wheels even comes close. And I think the biggest reason for that is because of the wheels. The Matchbox wheels are just so much nicer. And this is an example of that. So if you look, here's a Hot Wheels wheel. To me, that's cheap looking and it just doesn't look good. Same thing here. I don't complain much about it because they're dollar cars and, you know, you get what you pay for. And they got to try to keep the cost down to keep the price of the car at $1. But, you know, these wheels just, to me, don't look good. Now, this is a nice looking wheel on a dollar car. I think that looks really sharp. On top of it, I think the car looks really good. Matchbox tends to do a lot of things that Hot Wheels does not. For example, side view mirrors. Hot Wheels does side view mirrors on certain castings, but it's a much more common feature on Matchbox cars. But this Camaro is just a really nice car. There's a lot of nice detail on it. Headlights and taillights are all tampoed up. Got the bow tie. This one even has a license plate on it. And just the wheels, those wheels just look really good. I'm telling you, wheels can make or break a die-cast car. They can also make or break a real 1-to-1 scale car. But that's just an awesome model right there from Matchbox. Very nicely done. And then the last Matchbox, and then we'll crack some premium stuff. This is a 1971 Pontiac Firebird. This is another cool Matchbox casting. It's not the most authentic tooling. It is really close to scale. It's 1:65. Not the best Firebird tooling, but it's a pretty awesome tooling though for the scale, and for the price and quality level that it's at. In fact, if you take all the Hot Wheels Firebirds and all the Matchbox Firebirds, this, in my opinion, I think would be the nicest tooling because I think it's the most realistic looking. And it's got an awesome pearlescent paint on it. You got the Screaming Chicken there, and look how perfectly centered that thing is. Might just be off just a little bit to the right. But just a very cool car. Now, unfortunately, there are no headlight or taillight details on this one. But if you have a steady enough hand, you could add them. So that's another cool car. Those are the mainline cars that I picked up over the last, really I've had those going for about 2 weeks. I just picked up the final few today. And then tonight I grabbed a couple of premium castings. I'll start with this one here. It's another Greenlight Jeep Wrangler for my collection. This is from All Terrain Series 5. And it is the 2015 Jeep Wrangler. And it's a wheeler. And it's a casting I don't have. Actually, I'm sure it's the same tooling, so I'm sure I do have the casting. But I don't think I have the wheelies. Take the little rubber band off. And this is awesome. That full-size spare on the back looks killer. Got a blank tag on the bottom, so that's a relatively common occurrence with Greenlight. Although I will say, the past probably 2 years, it seems like it's far more uncommon than it used to be. And this Jeep rolls amazing, just like all of them. The Jeep Wranglers from Greenlight, you very rarely have an issue with the cars rolling. So, really cool. I still think my favorite late model Jeep Wrangler from Greenlight is the Black Bear Edition. But I do like this one quite a bit. That's a really nice look. Just awesome detail. There's your back end. You got a full-size spare. Tail lights. And a cool thing about this casting is your top comes off. So that thing looks dope. I'm going to take some pictures of this on the layout. Well, an issue that I've had with probably 3 or 4 of these Jeeps within the last 6 months is the headlights falling out. Which, it's not a huge deal. You can glue them back in if you don't lose it, but that's just the problem. You have to make sure you don't lose it. Detailed wipers. That's just a cool looking Jeep right there. I like it. And there's your little plastic top. So, really cool Jeep Wrangler. I'll take some pictures of that. The last one that I got, I don't buy this brand very often. And I haven't seen them put this casting out. I think it's... I never really collected Shelby collectibles, but the only other casting I have of this particular tooling came out a couple of years ago. And I don't think they've released it for a while. So they just brought this out, and they brought it out with the Terlingua Racing livery. And it's a 2008 Shelby. And it's pretty awesome. As you can see, it looks great in the package. The orange with the black background really pops. For carded collectors, this would be a nice one to display. But the problem with Shelby collectibles is that I don't think they have a very good collector value to them. Just because they don't really have a chase program. Although everybody thinks that they do, they don't. I think they have in the past, but it's been a couple years. But like the blue tires and red tires and all that stuff, those are not chase cars. So I think that's part of it. And the other part is that it's Shelby collectibles, and you know, that'd be like, you know, Greenlight or Johnny Lightning taking one car and doing nothing but that car, you know? Not even just a brand. It's like Not just like, say, Chevrolet, for example, but it would be like just one casting of Chevrolet, like the Camaro. And so for that reason, I'm kind of surprised that Shelby Collectibles has hung around as long as they have. Because with some of the other premium brands like Auto World, one of the issues I have with them is their lack of selection. And that's more of an issue with this brand because it's all Mustangs or Cobras or just Shelby cars in general. But this tooling, it's a pretty nice tooling. You can see here the engine detail is very nice. I like the colorway on this. Hood closes pretty nice. I think the wheels and tires on this look really good. It's got a nice stance to it. But you can already see what my big issue with it is. And it's a pretty big issue. This car would look 10 times better if it was one tooling, no opening door. And just about every one of these Shelby Collectibles has this issue. You would think that they would start compensating for that when they lay the tampo on the door and just try to match it up, how they know the door's going to line up on the casting. But then again, on this side it looks good. So it just seems like every car that I have from Shelby Collectibles that has a tampo running across the rocker, every single one of them has this issue. And I don't have many. I only have maybe 4 or 5 of them. But they all have that problem. But I like what they do here with the transparent lens taillights and headlights. And I really do like the graphics and the colorway. That's a pretty sharp looking Mustang. At least on this side it should take some pretty decent pictures, I guess. So I don't buy a lot of these, but you don't see the late model Mustangs from them very often, at least not lately. So I picked that one up. Those are my 2 premium editions. I haven't found much lately. I did find the SD trucks, but I just don't know if I'm going to spend $15 or not for those. I might grab one, but you know, space for my collection is starting to become an issue. So I'm already very picky with the SD or the HD trucks. I prefer the motorhomes and the flatbeds to dump trucks and stake bed trucks and stuff like that. So if I have to pick and choose, I'm going to pick the flatbeds and the RVs and even the box trucks, because depending on what the livery is, I will grab the box trucks. So anyways, that's the video. It's a very quick video tonight. Quick is probably the wrong word because it's still 20 minutes, but very, I don't know, not the best content in this video, but I just felt the urge to open cars, something I like doing, and so I figured I would. So there you have it. Thanks for checking out the video. I will holler at the next video.